Hey, good Friday morning, folks. We made it to Friday, made it to the weekend. Weather overnight, what has changed? Well, I figure we have down this weekend and early next week, and now I think we know what's going to happen when the cold front passes and how cold it's going to get and what Thanksgiving is. So we're looking past Thanksgiving into the weekend after Thanksgiving, and what has changed is that the cold air is kind of in and out. There's another warm-up I'm going to show you in early December, and then the cold air comes back in. So we're definitely, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that we're going toward winter, but right now it's not appearing to be a crazy cold start at the beginning of December. And so I like to start with this. I want to start with what is normal. And remember, an average high temperature. So you're looking at the average high temperature for today across Michigan. 44 degrees is common in Detroit, Ann Arbor, 43 in Kazoo and Lansing, 42 Grand Rapids, 42 in Saginaw, Bay City, 40 in Traverse City. So what this is the average temperature is the average of 30 numbers. The last 30 years on November 21st all have averaged together to these numbers. Doesn't mean it's a common number. You might think, okay, well, we're about there. But, 3 or 4 of those years could have been extremely cold, highs in the 20s, and 3 or 4 of those years could be extremely warm, highs of 60 degrees. Who knows? But this gives you a perspective of when we're talking about colder than normal from now, we're talking about upper 30s. And when we're talking about colder than normal by early December, we're talking about highs in the upper 20s or so. All right, let's get into the actual weather, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so this is the upper airflow using the European and using the ensemble mode. So as we go into the weekend, there's no major storm system around. Hey, Go Blue SH. Good morning, Freeport. So this is early next week. This is the quote-unquote warm surge that I'm talking about, where you'll see in a moment temperatures head into the 50s on Monday for a lot of Michigan, at least almost all of lower Michigan. And then a storm system comes through. This is the cold front that comes through now. It looks like Tuesday night. So Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, the temperatures are already going down, and there will be a pocket that has some lake effect snow. I'll show that to you. So this is Thanksgiving. We're in the northwesterly flow. We're definitely a lot colder than what we have been, and not extreme, but it feels extreme to our body. Not extreme meteorologically talking, but it feels extreme to our body. Now we're at the weekend, November 29th and 30th. As the wind flow backs to the southwest, that destroys the lake effect. Now we're at Sunday after Thanksgiving. And let's see what Chip Shot 124 has, focusing more and more on Thanksgiving forecast for traveling to Detroit's parade. Okay, yeah, we'll be handling that. I would say Detroit Thanksgiving is chilly, parade time. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s, maybe feeling like 30 degrees. So this is December 1st. Note how the next cold blob is going to drop into the southwestern part of the country. Southwesterly flow should trigger in your mind more moisture. This is November 2nd, November 3rd. And then another lobe of cold drops into the eastern, northeastern part of the country, the heart of it just to our north. But these are the surface temperature anomalies off of the same thing. So this weekend we are chilly to start. We're warming on Sunday, and then by Monday we are quite warm. By Monday we're 10 degrees warmer than normal. Into Tuesday, and then here's Wednesday morning, afternoon, and evening. So Wednesday is really the transition day where we go from, hey, this hasn't been bad, to, hey, this is getting cold. Or if you're a winter lover, you'd go, hey, this is terrible, this warm weather. Now we're getting better. And let's see here. So, you know, we go through the holiday weekend and we're colder than normal. This is Sunday. This is November 1st. This is December 1st. As we go into that southwesterly flow, temperatures rebound for a couple of days, December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, somewhere in there. And you do see the blob of cold air building. And we get out to December 6th. This can change. The cold air seems to always be backing off now from the long range, and that makes sense. But something like this by December 5th would put us at, 5 degrees colder than normal, which at that point would put us with highs definitely in the low to mid 30s and feeling like winter, but not, terrible. Okay, so let's look at the surface pattern. Someone's wanting to know the forecast for Thanksgiving in Detroit, and this is kind of how we're going to cover this, okay? Let's see. Okay, Kyle Edmark coming in with the second weather joke. I like how you think, Kyle Edmark. What did the dad say when it started hailing golf ball-sized hail? Finally, someone's serving up free ice for my cooler, and it's on the house. Ta-da! Continue to keep your day job, but you're getting closer to going to the stand-up comedian circuit. All right, so today should be a dry day. Tomorrow should be dry. Light wind. Tomorrow, although, the numbers don't show it's really mild, that light wind certainly helps. Here's the little rain showers that come through Saturday night. Very minimal in the north. This is Sunday, and the wind turns to the southwest. That's what I use the little black lines for, to get the wind direction off of there. This is Monday, full southwesterly flow. Sunday afternoon and Monday, good days to put the Christmas lights up outside in the decorations. Tuesday, here's the cold front with rain showers. Few hours of rain showers at any one spot. And then by the time we wake up on Wednesday morning, it's converted over to some areas of lake effect snow in the northwest. Still maybe a little showery in the south. This is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. So the southern 2/3 of lower Michigan, no travel problems expected on Wednesday. As you get to Kalkaska, 131 Kalkaska up to Boyne City, you're going to have the lake effect snow. Not what I would call intense, but certainly something that would bring you snowy roads. How will traveling be on the west side of the state for Wednesday? There we have it right there for Wednesday. Grand Rapids, Ludington, Pentwater, Kalamazoo, Southwest should be pretty good. Northwest will be snowy. Here's Thanksgiving morning. Snow showers in the north, accumulating from, Houghton Lake southward, all dry, cold, decorative flurry maybe in the air. There's your parade time. I'm sorry, I'm backing it up a little bit for you. There's your parade time in Detroit, and it's dry and it's chilly, feeling like about 30 degrees. So you're going to want to bundle up, but it's been worse. It's been better, it's been worse. Friday, dry. Saturday, there appears to be a system coming through, so we'll have to watch Saturday for some snow into Sunday morning. And remember, southwesterly flow as we go to the start of December, so multiple waves of moisture can come out. You see this one here coming in from the southwest, even though we may be mild, so it might be overestimating that. Now, then the next one about the 4th. So one thing you should get out of this definitely is that we're getting into an active storm track. And when we're in that transition from not snow just to our south to definitely snow just to our north, we watch it all. All right, so here's the temperature forecast. And you'll see what I'm talking about on a warm surge and then a cool down. So today we're 40s for most of us, maybe even 50 in Ann Arbor and Detroit. And then Saturday, we are looking at temperatures a little cooler in the east, 40 degrees or so. And let's see here. Still having a little bit of an issue with losing connection here. We're working on it. I ran an update hoping that it would take care of it, but it seems like it has not. Okay, so here's Sunday. Back to 50 degrees near Lansing, Kalamazoo. Grand Rapids almost 50. Saginaw, Flint almost 50. Ann Arbor, Detroit 50. Traverse City mid-40s. Monday, that's what I'm calling a warm surge. Yeah, November 24th, high temperatures in the 50s. Yes, all the way up to the bridge. Will we hit a 60? Probably not. Tuesday, still in the 50s. Then Wednesday, falling temperatures, introduction of the colder air, 30s and falling, trickling down through the day to a Thanksgiving temperature that looks like it will be pretty chilly. About, we'll call it 32 to 36 degrees for high temperatures on Thanksgiving. Friday, Black Friday, cold in the 30s. Saturday, cold in the 30s. Sunday, cold in the 30s. And then we'll start to see a little bit of a moderation as we go into toward December 1st. Just for a few days, though. So, sometimes in my head, I go, people call it cherry picking, the data that I want to show you. I do that for the snowfall map. I cherry pick what I think is the best idea for you. And so a lot of times I show you the ensemble of the European because it's pretty good, but I think it overdoes the snowfall area perspective for you. This is part science, part psychology, me helping you understand. So what I'm using today is what's called the blend of models, and they've developed a way to blend. This model is doing 60% better than this model, so let's put 60% weight on this. And that's what we have here, and I think it shows you more accurately the coverage of lake effect snow, which usually is not that big of a coverage, okay? So we go through this. Okay, and let's go to Wednesday morning. This is 7 a.m. Wednesday, and you're looking at, that first shading of gray is 1/10 of an inch of snow. That means a dusting. Let's go to Wednesday. By Wednesday night, as the lake effect starts in the northwest, you could see some accumulating snow in Boyne City, in Gaylord, in East Jordan, in Mansalona, in Kalkaska, in Fife Lake, around the Traverse City area, maybe down to Cadillac. We're still just at a 1/2 inch, and the rest of the state is dry. Then you wake up on Thanksgiving morning, and you know it's a good 2 to 4 inch snow in the northwest snow belt. Across the UP, it's a 3 to 6 inch snow. Southwest corner, Grand Rapids, you might have an inch on the ground. And Holland and Allegan and Benton Harbor, St. Joe area, you might have an inch of snow on the ground. But Saginaw and Detroit and Ann Arbor, no. We go into the rest of Thanksgiving. Now we go to Friday morning, and still keeps just slowly piling up. Northwest lower, piling up heavier in the UP, and you know, a couple of inches in that southwest corner. And we go through the weekend, and by Sunday you've got 3 to 6 inches northwest lower, maybe 2 to 4 around Traverse City. The ground's probably covered. Maybe the grass is not being able to be seen. And in the southwest part, you got the same 2 to 4 inches. In Grand Rapids, you might have some 1 to 2 inch amounts. And over into the east side of the state, we might have a decorative inch here and there from Saginaw to Flint. Probably not Ann Arbor and Detroit area. So that should do it for you as far as knowing what's coming up for the Thanksgiving holiday. Not a terrible travel period. Southern half of the state or southeast half of the state really pretty okay. And then if you're traveling to the northwest lower, Traverse City to Boyne City and Mackinac Bridge up into the UP, you are definitely going to have some snowy roads to deal with by the time you wake up, I would say, on Thanksgiving. There's your MLive morning weather update with me. I wrote a story already about the Great Lakes water temperatures. Now today I'm looking at the Great Lakes water levels. I'm getting pictures. My wife at times works on Grand Traverse Bay as a massage therapist, and she stares out a window. She says, wow, is the bay low? So I'm going to be looking at that. So check mlive.com/weather. That's where you can always find our information, mlive.com/weather. Bookmark that, and then any weather story that I publish, or I have a coworker, Tonda Gmitter, that helps me also, and she does a good job. She does a really good job. She's not a meteorologist, but she does a good job at conveying what the National Weather Service is talking about when I'm not there. So check that out. Thanks for joining me, and have yourselves a great weekend. You won't see me this weekend, but you probably will see me on Thanksgiving and Black Friday and probably the weekend after that. Oh well, that's the way it goes. I knew the job when I got into it 36 years ago. Take care.